Welcome to the Comic Coach podcast with me, Em Stroud. I am indeed the Comic Coach, and this is indeed my podcast. And as you know, lovely listeners, lovely viewers, I get to chat to some of the best people from around the world. And let me tell you, you are in for a treat because I have seen this woman speak. We had a chat post her speaking, and I was like, I need her to come on the pod because you need to know about her and how she's having amazing impact. So without further ado, please give a metaphorical, because I know you're listening, round of applause to our guest of today, Narisa Chauvidul-Aw. Hello.
Hi,
Hello, lovely soul. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Just came back from Bangkok. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very well. You know, we are recording this on, I think, the second hottest day in the UK.
So hot. Well, compared to Bangkok, not that hot.
Oh, you see, it's all relative, right? And let me guess, in Bangkok, their train system can carry on working even when it's hotter than it is here. Is that fair?
But there's an aircon everywhere. Right? Here, I don't have. I have only the fan.
Okay, yeah. See, it's almost like other countries are ready for the heat, and it's almost like we are not. So yesterday, I was being interviewed in a podcast last night, and had to go up into town. Every single one of the tube lines were not working because they were melting.
Really?
Yeah,
And you? I didn't know.
I know. So my lovely listeners, my lovely viewers, always like to know, where in the world are you today? So you've come back from Bangkok. Where am I speaking to you today?
Oh, I'm in St Albans. Yeah, and from London to St Albans in Hertfordshire.
Yeah, and very nice it is too. It's very nice, yes. And for those of you that are listening around the world, St Albans and Hertfordshire is sort of north of London. It's the county up and it's got countryside. That's all you need to know. And less people.
Lovely town. I love it here. I moved here 8 years ago.
It's
I
really
follow my son's school, actually.
okay. Yeah.
I moved to St Albans because my first son came here for the school in St Albans.
Amazing. And that's a good enough reason. That is definitely a good enough reason. Now, all of my lovely listeners will know that I always like to ask all of my guests 6 questions all around impact. Who's impacted you? What's going on for you? It's just what this podcast's about, because then people go, oh, I could maybe learn about from that. Okay. So are you ready for question number 1?
All right.
I love that. All right. I am ready. Here we go. So question number 1, who has had the greatest impact on your life?
Is it all right to say my mom?
Of course it is. Of course it is.
I think the way I look after my children, I look back, is kind of like my mom, the way she looked after me. And she's very kind. And then she passed away already. But she looked after us when we have 4 children. So my mom quit her job when she had me. So we spent lots of time with mom. And she taught us to look after people as well and help other people. That's why when the past 10 years before she passed away, we spent time with her during the summer with my children as well. We went to help in the orphanage home together. And when she passed away, my children still remember her, the time that we spent together, 10 years at the orphanage home every summer holiday. And I think, I think it's my mom, but also God as well. When I couldn't think of doing anything or I have a bad time, so I pray. So I think mom and God.
They love that. And what was your mum's name?
Thanom Singh.
Lovely. And I love the fact that you and your kids and her had those memories of going to the orphanage and being in service and being kind. And what a beautiful thing, because that's, I think for a lot of people, like, I never knew my grandparents. So I think for your boys, for your kids, knowing their grandmom and seeing how she operated in the world and how she showed up in service, for them to have that memory of summers with them and it must just be a magical, magical thing. So, I love sending her lots and lots of love. Question number 2, what keeps you motivated in what you do? And let's face it, you do many things. So what keeps you motivated in what you do?
I think I mentioned to you before when we met, when we have very hard time for work, many challenges, many times I want to give up, and because it's too hard. When I think of the people that can help, I don't know if you remember, I mentioned that I want to exit my business maybe in a few years' time. I want to do full-time volunteering work as a missionary at the orphanage homes and with the homeless people. I did many years ago in Tokyo. That's what I want to do. That's why I set up my own business. So when I feel, want to give up, be motivated, so I just look at the children. I bring the photo of them or video that we did some documentaries. So I look at that and look at the picture and think of them. Sometimes I call the pastor who look after the children to give me motivation. That's, I think, the best thing for me to look at that and motivate me to not giving up and moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I can sort of relate in my own way because everything that I'm doing and all the different facets of the different worlds that I have is leading me so that I can, in essence, set up Laugh, Think, Play as a charity. And our goal is to get 1 million adults laughing, thinking, and playing. And in order to set up that charity, I realize that there are things that I have to do first so that can then be my focus. And I'm so with you on that motivation piece. Sometimes excuse me, sometimes running our own businesses can be hard. You were saying before, it is, right? Sometimes it's hard.
Someone else. I don't want.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't think either of us are employable anymore. But I think it's that thing, right? It's that being the one that has to drive, thinking about things. How are you going to grow? All of those challenges that we have as business owners and as founders. Some days it's just like, oh, but then. And then, yeah, exactly. But then, as you say, you get the picture of the kids, the orphanage. You think about where you want to go and how you want to be serving later on in your life. And for me, I'm like, I want the legacy of my life to be that there's a charity that makes the world feel more connected, more human, more playful, more joyful. So I'm not surprised that that's what keeps you motivated. I love it. 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 How do you play? How do you play?
I remember. When you say play last time, it means something not work, right? And something that I don't do. Okay. When I was young, I read a lot of Japanese comic book.
Cool.
Like manga. And I read a lot of Agatha Christie as well.
Nice.
I love it. Now, my secret, I haven't told anyone. Friday night and Saturday, or sometimes a whole day, I watch Korean series.
We love this. We love this.
But not a scary one.
No.
It's like feel good movies. And then it feels nice, to watch something and then make you feel good.
Yeah. And it's that thing, right? Because to play is to be human. And when you're watching those feel good movies, it's like you're fully present in it. You're enjoying it. It's the only thing that you're doing and you feel better afterwards. And, when you've got kids and you've got businesses and all of that stuff, that is why play matters. Now, I'm curious, do you still read any Japanese comic books?
Not much as before. When we were young, we read a lot of books, like...
Maybe it's time to start going off and buying a few more and going, oh, these are still good. Suddenly on this, because quite often a lot of adults say to me, well, I don't really know how I play. And one of the things that I often tell people is like, well, what did you do when you were a little girl, a little boy? And it's like, of course, it's not about you suddenly becoming a child again, but actually some of the stuff that lit you up when you were younger, we don't find time to because we're very busy being adults. So I wonder if that little girl inside of you is like, I'm going to get to buy a comic book. Yeah, this is happy making.
Maybe. And I love traveling as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And that for sure is one of the ways that we can play. As I think I've mentioned to you before, and my listeners will know, I've identified that there's 12 ways that adults play, and one of the ways is exploring, and part of that is traveling. So yeah, so I can see an exploration going on, full of joy, while reading a Japanese comic book. You've heard it here first, kids. Next time you see Nerissa in an airport, she's gonna be like that, and just happily reading my comic book. I don't need to read about FinTech anymore. No, just gonna read some of that. Brilliant.
Okay, good idea. I go and buy one.
Good. Yeah, do it. And then just see how you feel. I bet you feel great. Question number 4. Right. What's one action that you've taken that's really impacted your life?
That's one action. Mm-hmm. Maybe if I have to choose one, maybe in 2012, when I was sitting at my church in London, the associate pastor, I think his name is Tom, and he challenged everyone there that we should do something out of your comfort zone. So I went back home and I thought, what should I do? You know, that different from what I used to do. And then I read about night walk for with a big issue.
Mhm.
And something that I don't like is walking. So
Right.
I gotta do it. So I think 2012, and I try to walk every week to train myself, and I joined the night walk. I think 10 kilometers. If I hate walking, 200 meters, I said, so I have to train myself for a month, and then I did the night walk to raise money for, you know, like big issue, the homeless people. I always support them. I came to UK in 1996 as a student, and I remember I bought the big issue in 1996. It's I think 50p or 60 or 30p.
Yeah.
Not like £2.50 now, but I have them since I was a student. And I did walk with them. So at that time, I said, "Oh, I can do it. I can do anything." And then after I walked with the big issue to help raise money for, you know, the homeless people who big issue help, I went to Japan to volunteer to help homeless people with the organization called OMF in Tokyo. So I
Right.
spent 5 weeks working with them to help, and that changed my life. You know, like when in 2012, many years ago, right? I didn't think about, okay, what do I want to do when I retire or when I, you know, get older. So at that time, when I did the big issue walk, and then I went to do the missionary work and help the homeless in Japan, and I start doing orphanage, helping in orphanage homes in Mysore in Thailand. So that has changed my how to say my goal in life, what I want to do. So I know that, okay, I know what when I want to exit my business. At that time, I didn't have my business yet. But I know that if I want to retire or if I have my business, I want to exit my business. That's what I want to do. You know, to be a full-time volunteering work. Because I feel fulfilled. I don't know how to explain. I felt inner peace and joy. So I think that impact me of the sermon at the church on that day. Do something different out of comfort zone. I do something that, you know, I might not like or I might not have done it before. And then that's leading to I have the goal of my life, what I want to do.
I love that so
I
much.
think
So
that changed my
yeah.
I never thought about, okay, when I get older and retire, or if I have my business, when I exit my business, what I want to do. At that time, I think I might traveling, I might just, you know, relax and maybe go back to do teaching at university or something like that. But I changed my mind. I know what I want to do.
And isn't that
Am I answering your
fascinating?
question?
Yeah, no, you really have. It was beautiful. And I think it's so interesting, isn't it? Because by being asked that question of, you know, doing something out of your comfort zone, what that, from your answer, how it feels and how it landed for me was it suddenly meant that you moved in a different way, literally and metaphorically. And because you moved in a different way, suddenly you can see things from a different perspective. And actually, there are all these, I don't know, for want of a better description, there are always different fields around us, and we think we can only see one. And sometimes it's really important to have somebody help us go, there are 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 different fields, and you could walk down different paths.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're not even aware that there is that path unless somebody makes you go, do something out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Go see something.
Question, isn't it? Do something else that I'll get.
Yeah.
And it's,
Yeah.
okay, I try.
Yeah. And then that's so interesting, isn't it? Because from that one thing, you did something which then set off a series of events. And I'm a big believer that, you know, when we energetically go, okay, I'm willing to do that, I'm open, then actually we just get to see so many different things. So, you know, what an extraordinary thing. And it is funny, you know, I was thinking about you know, the big issue. And, you know, I mean, it's been set up, it's been going for as long as I've lived in London. So again, you know, since the mid-90s, I guess. And it's extraordinary, you know, and now rightly, those people that are selling big issues now have card holders. And it's like, it used to be 50p and now it's like, how can I pay on card? Yes, I've got a card, and it's like, wow, that's, it's almost as if, you can kind of see sometimes how the world has changed through different lenses and stuff, right?
And you know what? When I went to Tokyo many years ago, I found an old man selling reissue in Japan, Japanese version.
Right.
So I have him and he says something I don't understand. I know a little bit of Japanese, but like, so I say,
Yeah. You're like, okay. Yeah.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Carry on. Lovely. So how do you take care of yourself?
How do I take care of myself when I'm not feeling well or what?
No, just in terms of your, because you run a business, you travel a lot, you've got kids. So how do you make sure that you don't get unwell? How do you look after and nurture you?
I'm not doing that well because for the past 2-3 years, in FinTech, very, very tough. Fundraising is very tough. A lot of challenges. Sometimes I have what they call a panic attack. Sometimes I feel that really funny when I drove on the motorway. Sometimes I feel uncomfortable. So I'm not doing well at that. But I think traveling. I love traveling. I want to spend some time alone. Maybe I travel alone by myself. I'm going to Dubai next week just for 2 days. So I will find some time doing something, go to the restaurant that I like. I've been to Dubai a few times. So I find some nice restaurant, explore and talk to people. Yeah, I think so. Traveling. It's on to massage. I go to Thailand. Don't forget, you have to go to Thailand. Get a massage.
Get a massage when you go to Thailand. That is true. That is definitely true.
After myself, yes.
But isn't it interesting as well? One of the reasons that I asked this question, and you are not the first founder and entrepreneur that's gone, yeah, I'm not doing that good a job. And I think it's really important that, we all acknowledge, in a world that's very fast paced, and as you say, with challenges of fundraising, of running a global business, and all of the different things that you have, it's so important to go, actually, yeah, I'm aware I'm not doing that good a job of looking after me. And with awareness then comes choice. And then with choice then comes the ability to shift it. And especially in the founder community, having worked with lots of founders and being a founder myself, it's that thing of, how do we make sure that even though we want to succeed and we want to thrive and all of that stuff, how do we make sure that we're not doing it at the cost of ourselves and doing it at the cost so that we don't make ourselves unwell or we burn out and things like that? And I think you're right. It's right. You're going to Dubai. It's a short turnaround time. So it's that thing of like, when you're there, yes, nurture yourself with great food, but it's also like, maybe I could sneak in a massage even in Dubai, and it's these little moments, it's these little things where, because you matter, right? Because without you, there isn't the business, and it's that challenge, isn't it? About going, how do we make sure that we don't just fall off our own radar, and looking after ourselves. So thank you for your honesty, because it's so important, because people can go, oh, she's got it made. She's traveling. She's doing this. She's got a da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, yeah, and I'm also quite knackered, and it's important that we're honest. So I'm very grateful for your honesty. And then the final of my 6 questions. What have you been thinking about in the last couple of days? What's really been in your head?
My son, my youngest son, gonna finish the last exam for A level for Monday. Kids at boarding school. So we're thinking about maybe give him the award for doing well at school. He want to go to Japan, so I just thought, maybe because now in Osaka there is a what they call a few years ago there's in Dubai expo, the expo in Osaka. Okay. And then they're gonna finish in October. And if he start the university, he will start I think end of September. So I plan to go to Japan, and that one thing in my mind yesterday when I talked to my son. And also 2 days ago I thought about going to Ghana. I never been to Ghana. Ooh. It's about traveling. Because of, what, I have a lot of challenges, and someone called Pastor James, he prayed for me. I don't even know him. he's not a friend from my church, and he's trying to fast it for me. So I told him that if I have breakthrough and go through all this and get this done, I come and say thank you in person. That's something in my mind, but two things.
I love both of them, and I love the fact that, you're just like, yeah, I will come and just say thank you in person in Ghana because that ticks your box. And that, in a way, is kind of you taking care of yourself because traveling fuels you, obviously, right? And then you've got your beautiful younger boy and you're like, yes, let me see how we can help him, celebrate and take a moment. Because I think especially because everything is so fast, it's like finish A levels, quick, now you're going to university. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Should we just pause? And just take a moment and go, you know what, you're doing really well. You're 18. You're never going to be 18 again. So let's, I love that idea of like, how could we make it so that, he gets to do all of those different things,
And one more, I thought about,
yeah,
I'm going to book a ticket to go and see at her tour.
Now this is what we like. Obviously I've got the M show, do go on www.mstroud.com/tour and you can see all my tickets. Yeah. So yes, you do definitely need to come and see it because it will make you laugh. And
I told my husband.
And you've got a great laugh. So it's like brilliant. I'll be like that. Narissa's in the audience, got the great laugh. This is brilliant.
Not my bad. All right.
I love it. I love it. I love the truth. Now I could talk to you for hours, but I am aware of your time and of course my good listeners' time. How do people find you and the awesome work that you do? Where's a good place for people to connect with you?
You can connect me on LinkedIn that I check often. Just search my name, Narisa, Narisa, and my surname, Chauvidul-Aw. That's a good place to connect with me. Check my website, www.cocopay.com, KOGOPAY.com, and also CocoX, KOGOX.com.
Awesome. I will make sure that all of those links are in the show notes. When I say that's a complete lie. My fabulous team will make sure that they're all in the show notes because you wouldn't want me doing the show notes, a dyslexic fool. I honestly, when I heard you speak and just, the stuff that you've done, honestly, do go and follow Nerissa and see what she's done. She's done some amazing work in the world of FinTech. She is a trailblazer. She's doing extraordinary things. And we've had a different peek into a different window, all about comic books and travel and all of this stuff. But if you are in the world of payments and finance, then do follow her because she does some awesome stuff. And also, if you are curious to find her awesome missionary work, then all of that stuff is out there as well. And, in a world where it's so divided and it's so polarized and it's so angry making in terms of people being angry at everybody, at each other, the work that you do is massively important. So do make sure that you go and check it out and see if you can support her and her orphanage and everything else. Nerissa, you are a star. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast with me, Amstrad. Loved it.
Here with you.
The lovely Nerissa. It's so fascinating to me doing this podcast because honestly, I think I can't remember the exact award that she won, but it was something like I'm going to get it wrong, so I'm not going to say, but let's just say she's won some very prestigious awards. Her FinTech business is flying. She is doing extraordinary things in that sector. And as well as, massively supporting an orphanage and doing all of these different things. And I just said to her, just as I was saying goodbye to her, it's so important that we get to hear the human behind the success stories. And I'm so grateful for the fact that she was so candid about that she's not doing a very good job taking care of herself. Because ultimately, it's very easy to see the success stories. It's very easy to see the shiny LinkedIn posts, the Instagram posts, the best of us, And actually, it's so important for us just to all be, dare I say it, a little bit more human, a little bit more connected, and a little bit more imperfect as opposed to trying to be really perfect. Like I'm aware as I'm recording this and it's a Friday afternoon on the hottest day of the year, that I've had a massively full week and I'm looking at myself as I record this and I can see I'm quite tired because I would be quite tired because I've had a really full week and it's super hot, so I haven't slept very well. And I did debate. I will be honest with you. I did debate. I was like, maybe I should postpone this conversation because I'm feeling really quite tired and stuff. Obviously now as an extrovert, I get energy from doing this. I love doing the podcast. I love talking to all these fabulous people. And then I just sort of realized, it's okay that I'm also a bit tired. The conversation will still be of merit, of use for everybody. And actually in a beautiful way, probably because I am a bit more tired. I think the pace of that was probably better for her. So again, everything that we do, we can learn from. So in the nicest possible way, I'm just saying in a very gentle way, just give yourself a bit of kindness, go gentle, go slow. You know what? We're all doing our best. And if we all come from that place, we're all doing our best, maybe we can just find a little bit more compassion for each other and all the craziness that's going on in the world. So I've been Em Stroud, I'm the Comic Coach. Do make sure that you find some time to play over the next few days. Do make sure you find some time to laugh, because these things matter, and make sure you're thinking with kindness. Look forward to catching up with you next week. I've got some awesome people lined up on the podcast. So if you're loving it or you've just found it, do make sure you subscribe either on my YouTube channel or on all the other things. There we go. End of that bit that I'm always told that I must do. So there we go. I've done that. Yes. Thank you for listening to the Comic Coach podcast. And we'll chat next week. Look after yourselves. All right.